Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream today. Let me the usual stuff set up real quick. There I am. You might notice if you watch the other streams, you might notice I'm in a different spot. I've moved into my my senior year apartment. It's a pretty nice place. Got a bit more fruit flies than I'd really prefer to see, but otherwise it's not too bad. Let's quickly get today's goal. Small platforming level. And I'll get into that a little bit later, but I've got some ideas for some slightly different directions I want to take with stuff. But we'll get into that on the stream proper. Let me get my playlist set up. Make sure the volume sounds okay. Say it's at around -35. I'll lower it a little more. That usually tends to be about good. Just let me know if anything's a little too loud. Okay. Yeah. How's everybody doing tonight? On this lovely Tuesday at 6 p.m. And it's like 98 degrees out today. It was horrid getting to and from class. At least the buses had good AC. Hey there, Eraser Paste, Century 178, K-Lab, Dr. Abnormal, and Sterar, Mysterious Potato, Moose Guy, and Fries on His Gun. Well, thanks for stopping in, even if it was brief. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start by looking at, not standalone mobile. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go to the, you know what, first we're gonna start by showing off the changes to the hub area that I've been working on. So you'll notice it's very different right now. So I wanted to make the hub itself a little bit more interactive, a little more engaging. Hey, Aurelius, Oro, 3D, how's it going? 8 a.m. where I am. It's very different than what I've got. So if you see the other builds, then you got this new sort of section for the tutorials and for the museum. And these are more involved like places now to justify the levels and stuff. So like this one's inside of this building. I still forgot to move these. And then you bounce on up, and you get the second stage. And you work your way around through this windmill. You can, ride up the blades, or just punch up if you've got the resources to spare, and then you've got the final level. This looks a little crappy, so I'm going to fix that. But I think it's kind of a cool idea to use the hub world itself to sort of teach some of the mechanics. It's like, here you get to try the trampoline in this, like, zero-stakes environment. I also got rid of some of the HUD for the, just for the hub worlds. Like, you don't see the cell count or the speedrun stuff or the combo meter, because it's not really relevant for this area. And one other thing is that I'm planning to add a UI where you can instantly travel to any level without having to like actually visit it in the kind of convoluted hub. So if you're looking to replay levels fast, then this won't be an annoyance. And we got Tropical Train Yard, a nice little train. Got the first stage, and you got the second level right here, and then the third level in here. So before we get on to anything today, I'm going to showcase what I've been doing for the second level. Boom. It's missing a lot of the details right now, like it doesn't have a lot of the props in yet. But the layout and design is coming along pretty well. So you go through a couple of trains, you bounce across the ocean, you have your first fight with a Slapmo, because teaches you that you can fight enemies on that. Then you meet Brainbuster. The timer is a little broken because I forgot to change the numbers around. I'll make a little sign for this too, saying it's like a merchandise store. You get stuck inside, which is very funny. Go in here to fight Brainbuster while fighting other dudes, and it's a little t-shirt store, so you've got these little bits of merchandise. Ignore that one. And then you head on up to the roof. Got another thing to bounce across. And then you fight a Brainbuster while you're bouncing across the ocean. You come over here and you'll fight... this setup, I feel, is probably one of the parts of the level that needs the most work. It's just a little basic, so that's something I want to do a little more with. And then you bounce across, having to dodge through. Got a little advertisement there for Sheila's shoes. These guys also need some work. A lot of the enemy placement I'm not super satisfied with. And here's another part where you bounce across. You land right here. And you'll notice a little bit of bugginess with this like text coming in and out because I keep getting spotted and respotted and unspotted by the brainbuster over there, and I think that just has to do with the AI site being a little janky. So I'm gonna learn about AI, something called AI perception, which apparently should help fix some of that jankiness. So I'm working on this level a little bit more once I've fixed brainbuster up a little bit and he's a little more functional. But that's a loose idea of how that level is feeling. I think it's a good increase in difficulty from the previous stage. It's a little longer. It uses the mechanics a little bit more in a little bit more complicated way. But it definitely needs a bit more refinement. So, now to explain a little bit about what we're going to be doing today. So I've had a bit of a feeling that this game could use a little bit more content to it. And I think the structure that we have now is not a bad one. The game will still be decently beefy with these 3 main stages per world. Especially if you're trying to actually do everything. Should take you, probably not a crazy amount of time. If you're decent at the game, maybe around 5 or so hours. Not 5 or so hours. I can say 2 to 3 or so hours is more plausible. Which I think for $10 for a game that's really replayable, I feel like that's a good value. But I'm not going to commit to doing this yet, but I want to test this out tonight, see how it feels, see if it's fun or not. And I want to make mini stages for each of the worlds, two bonus stages, maybe unlocked by getting Voltaic Plus in all the stages, or maybe you just have it unlocked right from the get-go. I like either idea, really. And here's like a little tutorial stage to teach you that you can do this. I think it's kind of cool to give like that like a dedicated level, and like space to practice that tech. But something kind of like that, where there are 2 small stages. One of them will have no enemies and will be entirely focused on platforming and pushing the mechanics further. And again, in terms of platforming. And then the other stage will try to push the mechanics further in terms of enemies. Like there'll be one big, difficult, not even that big, one difficult combat arena. So I want to try making one or both of those tonight. We'll see. Depends on how long that takes, because I do have some homework I gotta get done later. I am back in school after all. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Do you by chance have an enemy have a hand ability reflect? Okay, well not you don't flick anything like that, but you do have the fling bomb, which is obviously it's very unfinished right now, but it's basically like a grenade launcher sort of deal. So kinda, I do have a projectile. All stages speedrun just got 100 times harder. Fair. It is definitely a lot more movement intensive to move to levels now. I feel like weird 3D characters would add to the appeal. Maybe. I like janky 3D, but I know my limitations. I'll learn 3D when I have time. Which hopefully is soon. The unlock will take plus. To unlock these bonus levels sounds like Prime Sanctums. Kinda. It's just like anything where you have to play the game to unlock stages. They've been doing that. Probably the earliest example I can think of is Crash Bandicoot 3, making you get good time trial relics to unlock bonus stages. But yeah, same kind of concept. But I'm thinking that instead those will just be unlocked whenever. Another thing that I haven't really explained yet of this game is the structure. In the hub world, like probably way back over there, is going to be this big old building. Whoop, hit the difficulty selector on accident. And that's going to be like locked down until you reach a certain threshold, and then you can enter it and play the final level and beat the entire game. That's like you beat it, that's it, you're good to go. And the thing about that is that you don't. I like the idea that you don't actually have to beat every stage to unlock that one and go on to finish the game, giving the player just a little bit of flexibility as to how much they want to do before they see the credits roll. And I was thinking that there'd be like a big percentage at the top of the screen, and that's like Void Collector Inner Stability or whatever, and that would go down every time you beat a stage, and that would include like the bonus stages. So if you beat one of those, that would also decrease the stability. So that way it would give you a bit of flexibility. Like let's say that there's a stage or two you don't really want to play, especially for like the sake of speedrunning. Like Pizza Tower is a good example. Who's that guy in the train? Oh, that's Gork. I guess I haven't introduced Gorks. They're just hanging out. Yeah. They're just chilling. You can kill him if you want to, but if you're cruel. What was I thinking? Yeah. But like Pizza Tower, for instance, oh shit is not one of the better levels, and you can skip it in the speedrun because you don't have to play every level to beat the game. So it becomes more fun. I know, like, 3 Buildings is probably the most disliked one right now. It's like that or Big Windmill. Those two kind of toss up between some people like them, some people don't. Although, I think 3 Buildings definitely needs a revamp more than Big Windmill does, but they're both going to get some changes. Anyways, but that gives you some flexibility as to what stages you want to run. It can make full game speedruns more entertaining. That's the gist of it, so I'm probably going to just have those unlocked. Anyways, enough dilly-dallying, enough jabbering. Let's try making it. It's better create the first design because look at the jankiness. True. Gork is my favorite character. Well, I'm glad. I'm seeing a lot of Gork support in chat. I'm glad Gork is catching on. Alright, so we're gonna copy paste the blank level. And we're gonna make it train yard, mini run. I'm just gonna call them the mini run and the mini challenge. Something like that. So where's our player start? Where is anything at? Let's just start by setting down a base. Whoop. Cool. And we got a foundation. Is that? Oh, that's just the dead block. Okay. We got our player start over here. Let's just drag him over. Yep. Put you down right there. Alright. Cool. Now we've got our entire stage done. No, of course not. Alright, so what we're gonna do is, like I said, this is just a short, no enemies, platforming only level. So what we're gonna do is just experiment for a bit, see what feels fun, try to really extrapolate on the best of our previous mechanics. And in fact, let's take a look over here. Whoop. Say default player start. So I think this level's pretty fun. You can bounce across the ocean. You can speed boost off of it to go really fast. I think the trains can be interesting. I don't know if I'm going to use them too much here because they are mostly intended for like small, like close quarters combat scenarios. So the trains might not see a ton of use. So they'll probably be mostly focused on the surfboards, and especially jumping off of the surfboards to get a lot of speed. Ooh, that's not textured. So you can do stuff like that, which I think is very, very fun to pull off. Okay, that fun to pull off is missing every single shot of it jumping off the side of the building. How did you go? What the heck hit you? Clearly, there's also some jank still in the code that needs figuring out. And I think one of the most fun things about this level is how it uses the death plane bouncing idea. Like, we do a fast run of the stage. Set that to... But yeah, something else I changed is that your default, like whatever you save, whenever you quick restart, it'll always set it to that whenever you restart. So like if you set in, it'll always open it back to what you saved it as. But I think the most fun thing you do here is like boosting off of the surfboards, grabbing the death plane, and then canceling with an uppercut. That feels especially nice with the revamped gravity move, because originally that was, you charge this and it would make you heavier and stuff. Now that doesn't do that at all. Now you just build speed, and holding control just stops all momentum and slams you down. It also makes you walk slower while you have it out, so like if you want to use it to aim with this a little more easy, then you can also do that. So those mechanics together feel pretty fun. Just boom, 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 and then perfectly timing it to get your way in. Very fun to pull off. Oh, there's some problems. Paper flip book. Okay, now there's still some. It's just all with some of the bat and bomb guys. They've got a little bit of jank I still need to figure out. So, right now the main ways I'm sort of using the surfboard is the idea of using it, boosting off, jumping, slamming, all that sort of thing. So I think something else I want to do with it is more of the stuff I did in level 2, where you have to strafe around stuff while standing on the surfboards, maybe like rows of surfboards. I like the idea of jumping off of one surfboard and onto another surfboard. That might not work too well unless I get the speed exactly right, which I bet I could do. So we're going to experiment with that for sure. And you know what? I think we're going to go ahead and start by making this on a raised platform instead of this one down to the ground. So let's get a nice square going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go. Alright. Let's go ahead and raise the player character start up quite a bit, so we don't accidentally clip him inside of the wall when we're trying to build our level out. Okay, yeah, we'll start about here. I want to see how that feels when you fall onto it from above. Yeah. We'll make it one lower, so that way you can always recover consistently from the death plane. Because you can also use that to bounce yourself higher off of the death plane, but generally I don't want to make that required. Alright, I do have to make a change. Train yard, mini run. And make sure it actually spawns us on the right spot. And I'm going to set up some code. You can't see this, but I'm just making it so that it's actually, let's set that way. Yeah. Okay, so we start up here. Drag our player back down to it. Then pull this back over here. Try to get you right in the center. Yeah. A little misaligned, let's fix that. Go. Okay, alright. Cool. We've got a block. So first thing I want to do is use the gimmick of the world. Obviously, it's a surfboard. We've been using it everywhere. So we really want to start by showing that we're going to be messing around with that. Let's go to interactables, level stuff, surfboard. Alright, set your rotation to 90. And then, what do we set the X launch to? Can I remember if it's X launch or Y launch? Oh, okay, yep. Yeah, it's gonna be Y launch. Just give it the default 7K. Z launch will be kind of low, because it's already kind of close to the ground. Kind of loud. It's really loud. Or really quiet. Sure. Sorry, I haven't read it's ever a chat in a second. 3 buildings sucks. Don't you dare change big windmill. It's perfect. 3 buildings wouldn't get any big changes. It would just be probably minor enemy placements. Mostly that large group of enemies up top. I don't really think that that's that fun to deal with. I think having a Steve and then some enemies that are kind of far away and grouping them together is fun. But that's kind of the only way to deal with that situation. So I want to change it a little bit. I do actually want you to tell me why you don't like 3 buildings. I agree it's the weakest stage. And I'm curious if my reasons line up with your reasons, but I don't think I don't think it sucks, but I'm a little biased. But I want to know your reasoning. What plugins do you use? I use Good Sky for the skyboxes, just makes that easier. I use Paper ZD. I use I forget the name of it, but it's the easy options menu for this stuff, because that way you don't have to worry about figuring out all this stuff on your own. It's just done for you. Saves me a lot of time. Okay, anyways, surfboards. We're gonna make one first, and then just see how this feels. Okay, maybe a little fast, but I guess we could go all in on speed on this. Maybe that's what we're gonna do. Is like have a bunch of really high speed surfboarding sections that just kind of go off in the distance. That could be kind of fun. Can imagine the platform levels being like Total Wipeout. Yeah, that sort of deal. Ever considering a grappling hook? I don't really want to do a grappling hook. I like keeping my movement more limited and focused. If you could grapple off anything, it's pretty powerful. I mean, it already is pretty powerful here where you can do this shit. But it's still heavily limited, and it's good for horizontal movement rather than vertical movement, which is good because I don't want to make vertical movement too powerful. You gotta keep things limited in a certain way to make it balanced out, you know? Let's shuffle you over a little bit. Okay. There we go, we got our boards. And then what we're gonna do is set up each one to have a launch partner. So each one will launch another one in a sequence. And that just ensures that if you step on one of them, all of them will get launched together in sequence. Yeah. So the question is, what exactly do we want to do with these surfboards? What's our challenge going to be? But first, actually, I think I want to give them a slightly higher bounce off the death plane. I think that sounds a little bit more fun. And remember that these stages are pretty short, so they're short and intended to be small, focused challenges. So we can afford to be a bit more difficult with these. It won't be like, oh, I got to the end of the stage and it was annoying that I died because it's like, you know, a minute in or whatever. Because it's all the whole level is going to be like maybe 30 seconds. It's pretty easy. Dealing with AI lining up for detonator is annoying. It's easy to get blocked by the enemies you're stuck in the indoors area. See, I think getting bounced around and blocked is kind of part of the level, and I get not liking that. For me, I think the problem is that it's just too bloated. Like, you have a lot of really similar combat encounters that don't really change super dynamically, compared to, like, a big windmill, where you feel like each section does a better job giving you a different combat encounter. Whereas, 3 buildings, like, the first and second floors feel super similar, and it's kind of just the bouncers and the cubes, and you're not really at threat of having to deal with both of them at once, so the section was intended to make you be running from the bouncers while dealing with the cuboids, but it doesn't feel like you really have to engage with that, really. If you look at the haste speed, I'm actually very lucky with detonating slap motors, so you don't know some sort of lineup they knew. I mean, the enemies are consistent. Like, they will always act the same way. But they might not feel consistent, you know? Like, what's the word? Because, like, their behaviors will always function the same way, but if you do something slightly differently, then they'll react slightly differently. So it'll technically be consistent, but it won't feel consistent, which is also a very important factor. But yeah, I do agree trying to herd enemies around to get detonator kills, and that's kind of the only way to win, is kind of annoying unless you have a way to do that more consistently and comfortably. Which is generally why I'm relying less and less. I'm trying to stick away from, like, big groups of enemies to make that less consistent of a strategy. I want the detonator to be more interesting of a choice, where right now it kind of feels like the only thing you do with it is to kill large groups of enemies. And I think it's cool, like, Oro, your strat in Big Windmill, where you push the Steve off and then get that big group detonation. That is a sick strategy because you created that. It's a little less interesting when there's just, oh, there's a group of enemies, I'm gonna blow them up, you know? So I want to rely less on that style of design, especially since a lot of the weapons aren't really designed for AoE anyways. And that means the detonator has more of a use as, you know, mobility, as sniping, you know, as a really powerful long-range tool, and also for making your own AoE attacks. Yeah. Hey there, Mustache Jerry. Welcome to the stream. Anyways, okay. Enough talking about other levels. So we got this nice little section. You bounce off the ocean. But I think now we're going to need to make an obstacle to dodge. So let's get out onto the ocean. Make our grid blocks per step a little higher, why don't we? Okay, let's see where this lines up. Because right now I'm thinking that we'll do something kind of similar to what I did... Oh, that's not going to work at all. To what I did for the 5th level. Not 5th level. What are we doing? What are you doing? Okay. Unreal's being janky. Okay. So I want to do a bit of what I did in the 2nd level, where you strafe around in between different surfboards. Yeah, it gets caught like that, which is good. That's kind of what I want this to do. But not everywhere. So let's see. First board should line up around there. So let's see if this works how I want it to. So yeah, that board gets caught, gets stuck, left behind. Yeah, and the other ones. Actually, no. Never mind. I'm preemptively. We're scrapping this. We're going back. We're unwinding. Hey, welcome. I'm assuming based on the dog profile picture that is Luke Beaton, also your name, probably. Welcome to the stream. Steve usually follows up the map in case he doesn't. That detonator also can get him. Because if we're too far and got killed by it. Oh, okay, okay. What's gone with this mini level? Well, as I had mentioned earlier on, I'm trying out some ideas with smaller scale stages that are just tests of either having like one focused like big platforming challenge, or a series of small platforming challenges, or like one difficult combat encounter, that sort of thing. Probably, I'm thinking right now maybe 2 per world. We'll see how that goes in terms of scale. Right now this is just really for testing, but I think having something like these would fit in really nicely, especially for a variety of players. I know some people like smaller stages, some people like larger proper stages to speedrun, so I think this gets a really good balance of both of those. And these would also help count towards the overall number of levels you need to clear to beat the game, so you could theoretically skip stuff or not play levels you don't really enjoy, that sort of thing. Okay, so as I was saying, I think I want to lean away from the dodging, actually, because I remember in testing that, I forgot about this already, but I felt that a lot of the times, if you just go left and right, sometimes you can have it work where you have to go left and then right and then left and then right, but for speedrunning, I'd rather make it something a lot more variable. So that way there is some kind of deeper engagement with the mechanic. So instead of doing this multi-launch, we're going to just go with one surfboard for now. Start simple. And I'm thinking we're going to do either a... No? No. Better idea. Okay. Just hear me out. So, gonna go ahead and partner each of these to each other. Okay. But here's the concept. I want to have it so you can like jump from one board to the other board. Okay, so they're a little fast right now for that. Try not 400, 4,000. Ah, shit. don't press control. Do not press control. Yeah. Oh shit, it slid me off. Okay, let's see if this idea actually works or not, because it might be a little janky. I think it's definitely gonna need to be a little bit slower for sure. Yeah. If that's gonna feel like a natural, comfortable lineup, we're gonna have to make that a decent bit slower. Nope. Still missing it. Okay, maybe we're not gonna do this idea. I mean, it kind of works with the gimme, but it just kind of doesn't feel that great. I mean, that's actually pretty fun, like gimmying back onto it, but you have to do that at very specific timing for that to like line up properly. So no, cool idea, but it doesn't actually feel that fun in practice. That's the point of today, everybody. We're just testing. We're figuring stuff out, figuring out what works, what doesn't work. Okay, so we've got a surfboard. Another idea that I did have that I'm very curious to see how this would work. Again, you know, we can go with the expectation that this is shorter and therefore can be more challenging for a shorter duration of time. No checkpoints, no nothing. We do have checkpoints working, by the way. Those are functional. So new players and can rejoice that you're not gonna have to beat the entirety of Big Windmill in one go now. It was really convoluted, but I got it working. But I really like the idea of combining the mechanics from different areas together. So, let's say we get a trampoline from the Windmillionaire levels. What if we put him in? I cannot tell where... Okay, he's half submerged. Okay, there we go. Here's what I was thinking. I was thinking that maybe you jump off, you have to catch onto him midair, and then you use that to like reach a higher platform. Definitely gonna take some testing to get feeling quite right. Let's say maybe like right around... What's the problem? It's none trying to read weapon photograph. Why did you access none? What are we doing? What? I'll fix that later. And it's not having any compile issues. Okay. Whatever. Jank. Unreal jank. I'll fix that on my own time. Alright, so we're gonna drag this guy over. So the idea is that you'll get on the surfboard, maybe jump off right around there, and then hit this guy, and then bounce up to a higher platform. Yeah. Nope. Might have to make like a row of these guys to help catch the player, so it doesn't feel quite so precise. Oh. Wait, what am I doing all that for? Oh wait, no, I'm really stupid. Why make a web of these guys if I can make one big guy? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I think this is a cool way to use the concept. I know I did have an idea for the end of the level to be where you'd use a surfboard and like you jump onto it and then speed boost up, like it goes down and then you have to jump over a platform onto a super launcher that'll then launch you to the end of the level. I think that'll be very, very fun and satisfying to pull off. So you jump over here, bounce off this guy, and then we'll land somewhere right around there. Okay, so let's build out a bit more geometry. The player's got to land right around here. We'll even put a little platform here just to catch them in case they fumble. Oh wait, I just realized you can kind of just you kind of just don't even have to use the board. What if we just? I wonder if this might be more interesting if we disable the weapon for these stages. It's like you don't have your tools, you just kind of have to work with just your base movement. That might be kind of interesting. Maybe, I don't know, because the movement, the weapons are pretty fun. I don't know if it'd be more fun just to take your stuff away arbitrarily. Yeah, no, I think the more I'm thinking about it, I think it's probably better just to keep your arsenal with you. I'm gonna push this back a little bit though. Yeah. Boing. Okay. So you boing yourself off of that. And then I'm thinking that well, first we need to catch this guy so he's not bouncing off into oblivion. Just put one of these out here. Could even put another trampoline right down here to let you use it as like a bit of an elevator in case you fall down. So, boing. And then land, I'm thinking like land directly onto another surfboard right there. That could be kind of fun. Okay, so you bounce off, land on one surfboard, go to the other one. So now how do we use this in a bit of an interesting way? We've set up the idea that you can use the launchers to hit them. Thinking that characters would have voices, or do they just exist? I mean, they're not exactly like... They're like bordering on sentient. But they're kind of like... I mean, they're called cells for a reason. They don't really do a whole lot. They make sounds. They don't really talk, though. Like I said, they're dumb. Okay, so now we've got the sort of initial concept set up. So I'm thinking that we want to do something a bit more dynamic with it. Maybe up the ante a little more. What if you're missing your hand and then you need to pick it up like a collectible and an animation of the guy screwing it back on plays? I like the concept. Again, I think it'd probably be more fun just to have your whole have your whole toolkit, but conceptually it is pretty good. I think sometimes limiting the player even more than what they're used to can be fun. I'm trying to think of an interesting way to do it other than just taking all your stuff away. Like maybe restricting certain tools in certain scenarios could be interesting. I don't know. That's definitely gonna need more thought. But there could be something there. Could be something. Okay, so I'm thinking that you're gonna jump off of this guy, and then like ride it off or jump it. I'm not sure which one I want to use. Probably jumping off, because I feel like using the board as like a way to get momentum and then launching off with something else is probably the most fun way to use the boards that I've found. Because riding them is cool and all, but what's more fun about them is that they're essentially like speed generators. You know, they're kind of like these guys, except a lot more janky, and they go flying around places, which makes them certainly different. Okay. So now we've got this board. Trying to think. Because ideally we'll use each type of launcher. I'm definitely saving the super launcher for the end. Because we got the trampoline, which sends you up. Launcher, which sends you forwards. Super launcher, which sends you really forwards. So what do we do with the sending you forwards other than... I was going to say other than just making you go fast, but I mean, what else do you really need other than that, right? So what if we just put this guy, like, right here? Make him huge. So you'll go underneath of him if you don't do anything. But if you do something, then it'll get you the extra boost. Alternatively, I guess you could just do... you really want to go flying, you can do this. Holy shit, I'm so fast! That'll probably be the speed strat for this level, I imagine. Because I don't know if I've really talked about my philosophy on this before. But I feel like the more I think about it oftentimes, the more that, like, games that have a certain degree of jank to them tend to be more liked by more people. Now, I'm curious what you guys think about this, too. But, like, a game like Super Smash Bros. Melee. I'm not really a Melee head. But that game is enduring. There are people who play it and continue to play it forever. Like, it's insane. It's massive. Oh, okay, you don't even need that guy. Yeah, I can certainly afford to move this back a little bit. But, you know, there's also a clear distinction I should make between, like, jank and being buggy. I think games that have mechanics that are unintended, or interesting ways to work around stuff, or weird interactions, that tends to be something that I think appeals to more people than... And you really don't even have to interact with these guys if you just boost dash. Need to rework this concept a little bit. And I guess I also don't need to really worry about it. I'm kind of trying to design for the regular player, and then also keep in mind the experienced player after the fact. So, like, you make a level first, play through it as intended, see how that feels, and then go through and try to break it, and see what works and what doesn't. Man, long tangent away, getting back to the point I was trying to make of jankiness, I think, being a virtue, is that there's this sort of sense that the players can sort of shape the game to whatever they want it to be. And it can be more volatile, more exciting. It's like Mario Kart Wii, that's one of the most popular ones, because there's a lot of jankiness and bugginess in ways that are fun. You know, it's not like the game crashes and corrupts your save file, or like things just don't function the way that they should. But it's cool because it's like, oh, I can go out of bounds here. It's like, oh, I can trick the game into thinking I did a lap right here when I didn't. That sort of stuff is really fun and can make the player feel like they've discovered something. And that's what part of the intrinsic element of what makes speedrunning feel so fun to do. Okay, well, ideally you won't just skip over the entire level. Still. But that's something I don't know if you can really do it on purpose. You know, that's kind of like a lightning in a bottle sort of quality. Like, you don't really design a melee. You don't design, you don't design things to be broken, really. Not usually. So I'm just trying to not worry too much about certain levels of polish. Like, again, don't want the game to crash. Don't want it to run like ass. It might run like ass because it's on Unreal. Sorry, only so much I can do. But there's certain, like, thresholds of things I really want to hit and need to hit. But there's other things that I'm willing to not worry about as much, because them being janky or a little weird is ultimately going to be a lot more fun for more people. Did any of that make sense, or am I just talking out of my ass? Whatever, I'm always talking out my ass. Make each mini-stage require the use of a single weapon that you're locked into, like skill checks for each weapon. That could be interesting, but again, it's like, you know, what do you do with only this guy, you know? The fun, like, the core fun of the system comes from, like, swapping around between your kit, you know? Like, what makes this so fun to do is because you're using those two different weapons together in great synergy. It's a little less interesting if you only have one of them. But again, you know, there's absolutely ways to make limiting your options interesting. I'm trying to find a balance there of just, like, how limited is fun limited. And, like, maybe this isn't even a game that I should limit too much. Maybe I should just let it be busted. Who knows? I think Broken Fingers will lock out only some weapons, but if, like, every special level having a different gimmick would be more fun. Yeah, I agree with that. I think just making the levels themselves feel more varied and interesting would probably go a longer way than just restricting parts of your toolkit. Okay, so you've got bounce, bounce. You go underneath. Then we've got a surfboard right here. Let's give it a 4,000. Yeah. There we go. Let's give it a higher bounce off the death plane. Let's say about 2k. I'm thinking we're gonna have it bounce off the ocean and then into something else, maybe? Maybe I should be using more... Maybe I should be taking better advantage of the crashing down into the ocean mechanic a little more. Let me try that a little bit, because I was feeling that something about this wasn't really working. But I wasn't really able to pin quite exactly what it was about it that didn't feel quite right. Maybe if you go down, bounce off something, and then jump into it, maybe that would feel a little bit more satisfying. Let's give that a shot. I'm really curious how other people do level design. Honestly, that already feels a lot more fun. But yeah, I'm curious how other people do level design. I feel it's probably a little more structured than this, because I just go off vibes pretty much. Like, I'm very analytical after the fact. Like, I've written up a very long document about every single enemy in the game, what makes them work and what makes them doesn't work. Mostly for, like, restructuring and planning going ahead. Don't be surprised if you see some pretty decent changes to a lot of the enemy layouts. Probably going to be more Gunthers. Gunthers are just kind of the most fun enemy to fight, I think. They're pretty cool. Steve's going to get some buffs. Bouncers are probably going to be a bit less common. I think they're still fun, but they need to be used in moderation. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty fun. And then this is definitely too close, but what happens if I just get on here right away? Whoop. It didn't go anywhere. Yeah. Pretty you. I always get so confused by what I'm seeing on the side monitor, because like sometimes I'll scroll through this thing, and it'll, like I'll catch it in a glimpse of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, oh, is it the chat scrolling? And I'll glance over, and nobody said anything, because it looks like I see somebody scrolling on the side of the screen, and it's very confusing. Okay, let's pull you over a little bit. It's already 6:46. Where's the time gone? I feel like I haven't done nothing. Go down, bounce up. This guy. Land on this. Jump and boost. Land up on here. Okay, I think that's a pretty decent route for like a for the like simple route, because like I've mentioned, there's two phases of designing a level for this game. There's the intended route, and then there's breaking. How fun does it feel when you're playing normally? How fun does it feel when you're trying to exploit stuff? Gotta figure it out. Gotta test both sides. Okay, that's pretty good. I like that. I like the direction that's going. Alright, now let's take a surfboard right there. Let's give it 4,500. And I could go too crazy fast. Let's give it another decently high death plane bounce. This one will probably have the player jettison, maybe like right around there when they land. That could be interesting. Although generally the surfboards feel a bit better to jump off of when you're going up rather than you're going down. So we'll see. Okay. So new concept. Hear me out. You use a launcher to boost yourself into a trampoline. Quite ingenious, if I do say so myself. I'd be more ingenious if I didn't push the poor guy underneath the death plane. Okay, so go down. Okay. Why did you start doing that now again? What are you doing, man? Oh, is it because something was stuck in the... Is it because you were stuck in the floor? Is that what it is? It's probably something that's stuck in the floor that shouldn't be, right? Because that's... Yeah, okay, it was just something that's stuck in the death plane. Okay, yeah, because it's trying to call stuff that's... Yeah, fixed it. More Gunther, this is a fantastic day. Where's Gunther? Did I say something about Gunther? Maybe. Void Collector Memorandum. What made you decide on Unreal Engine? I'll get on that. Big fan of the green thing. Oh, really? I didn't notice based on all the art you did in the Discord. Surfboard. Yeah. So I'll do my little spiel. I don't know if I've actually done like a full like spiel on this, but I was talking to Oro about this in the Discord the other day, and it's a very interesting conversation to have because there's a lot of good reasons to pick pretty much any game engine. And there's a fair point being raised of like, well, why use Unreal for a game that is, this simplistic looking, like it's not like anything I'm doing in this game is so powerful that it really needs all of the resources that Unreal Engine has, right? So it is something that's not going to run on lower end hardware for a game that arguably doesn't really need it, and that is true. That is very true, but I didn't pick Unreal exclusively for the sake of like what would be the best end product. Part of it is because I know that I would personally just have a pretty hard time actually finishing a game in some other engines. At least maybe it wouldn't be less of an issue now. Now that I've gotten more comfortable to programming with Unreal, I feel like it's given me a better grasp of coding logic as a whole. So going back to like I've spent my fair share of time learning C++, so it's not like it's totally foreign to me. Although, again, that's kind of another reason to use Unreal, because I know C++ and not C#, I think. Unreal uses C#. Is it C# or C? One of those two. But a big part of the reasoning for that is just that I really like the visual coding. To me, it feels more intuitive than standard coding. A lot of other features that I know I wanted to do would be relatively simpler. And I've got a lot of other ideas in the future that I know would only be able to work in Unreal, or at the very least, I know that every single idea that I ever have would be possible to make in Unreal. Like Godot, don't get me wrong, Godot is great, but some ideas that I have, I know would not work in Godot. At least not right now. Maybe by the time I get around to making them, I know Godot is a rapidly evolving engine, especially in terms of its power. So, you know, no shade on any other engines. I want to clarify. Unreal C++, C# or Z. C#, got it. Okay. Godot has a Python-like GD script or C#. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I was like, I thought it was C#, I couldn't remember if it was C# or C. Yeah, anyways, that's part of it. It's, yeah, mainly just being intuitive, and I know it has basically infinite upwards bound for what I want to do. I also just really like Unreal. They've got a great community. They constantly give away, like, they'll pay plugin makers to release their stuff for free. So you can just get a bunch of really good free assets and plugins and stuff. It's like PaperZD compensates for one of the biggest weaknesses, which is a lack of good 2D support in a lot of areas. And that's just entirely community driven. Unity has a good community. The people around Unity are cool. But I have my issues with Unity, Unity the company. And Godot, again, no real issues with Godot. It seems pretty cool. I'd like to learn it at some point. It just, I feel like eventually I might hit a bottleneck with Godot, where projects I want to make might not be able to be made in it. So, combination of factors. I feel like it's just more likely for me to actually finish this game if I'm making it in Unreal in comparison to the other engines. It's something I just kind of am more comfortable using and have more fun using. On top of that. Yeah, I'm confident that, well, at the very least, the odds are a lot lower that I would finish making this game if it was made in Unity or Godot instead of Unreal. C# is generally easier, but C++ and C are fast and give you more control. Okay. C is what runs your operating system, it's definitely faster. And C is faster, but C++ has more options. Okay. Yeah, Unity's cleaned up now, but I kind of have a hard time trusting them after that. You know? It's pretty dubious. It is not great that they did that just at all. Kind of makes it hard for me to want to really invest time into learning them, because there's always that concern that, like, what if they pull something like that again? I mean, it seems at least like the community would probably be all over them the second that they try to do anything like that, and everyone would get on them ASAP. So it's unlikely something like that would happen again. And if Unreal pulls something similar, I would seriously consider switching for sure. But maybe I should go back to my real, my first game engine, Scratch. Whoop. Nah. I mean, I guess it does technically count as what my first game engine was, but I guess I kind of feel like the first game engine that I learned was definitely an RPG Maker. And that's one I've got quite a bit of fondness for. Pretty fun engine to pick up and screw around with. It's not gonna do anything. Whoa. That's the wrong launch direction. But yeah, RPG Maker is one I really like. I've got a lot of fondness for it, but that is, we're talking limitations. It doesn't really get much more limited than that. Like, if, oh, you want to have character sprites that are larger than 32 by 32? I mean, you can do it technically. Good luck though. You gotta really strain yourself to pull that off. It's like 64 by 60. I don't remember the exact size. It's not big. So when I said these levels would be mini levels, I do mean it, because we're already pretty much done with this stage. It is very small. I think it's kind of missing something right now. I like the concept, but it kind of feels like you're just doing the same thing a couple times. Let's give it a run through, see how that feels. Maybe I'd think about what other obstacles would feel good to add to this level. Uh oh, that's not right. Okay, I still clipped it. Go up, bounce up. Cool. Okay, that's actually decently fun. I like that. What if we can do this, though? Nope, can't clip it. Can't clip it. Hey, you can do that, though. Look at that. Look at that. That's so quick. I could put a wall there if I want to prevent that. I don't know if I really want to prevent that, because that's kind of fun. Just being able to zoom over everything like that. Actually, I might make some obstacles just to make that more challenging. Probably still about as fast, but to make it harder to pull off. Probably something similar to like the start of Big Windmill, where you have to weave in and out of the different things, and that'd be pretty fun. I just counted how many times I drew Gunther. 47. Oh, wow. Will you ever do tutorials? No, I don't think I'll do that. I'm not the guy to look for to learn how to do this shit. I'm just taking all the weird secondhand information I've gotten and trying to do my best with it. I'm not the guy to look to for that sort of thing. Now, I would actually be interested in doing like videos like the what makes a good demo video, where I like, talk about what I think makes for a good like demo of a game. Stuff like that like talks about game development topics from the perspective of a game developer. I feel like most content you get is like more aimed towards the player, which makes sense. The players are the majority. But I would like to make stuff that would like be advice for developers who are just starting out, getting their feet wet, that sort of thing. I would certainly be interested in making that sort of thing. Yeah. Godot charges nothing ever. Godot is sick. Godot is very cool. Yeah, that is a very big positive. Any dev who makes games considers doing it for profit and risk of rug pulling. Yeah, it's just a bad situation. What's RPG Maker? I'm not sure if that's a joke, but it's used to make RPGs. It's a really good like starter engine. It's kind of how I would describe it. It's very basic, to be sure. It is not a complicated one by any means. I'm setting these around to add flavor. By the way, just so you know what I'm not just doing this randomly. I'm gonna give these some detail and stuff, but also use them as obstacles. But yeah, RPG Maker is a really good starter engine. You make RPGs in it. It's pretty limiting, which I think is a good thing as a beginning developer. Being forced to keep yourself within certain constraints is just a good thing, especially when you're really early on. At the stage that I'm at, I would prefer to be less limited, especially considering all of the years I've spent learning RPG Maker. Although I still don't have anything that I've like finished in RPG Maker. That's at a Cool Zone, which you can play on Epic Games. itch.io for free right now. Not very good, but you can play it. This is where I'm going to put up real high density of these things. To really make it tricky for you to get your pathing going. Whoop. That's not the right spot. There we go. Okay, well it's not actually... That doesn't really make things much more difficult. It does look cool. I kind of like the aesthetic it brings. But it's not exactly what I would call particularly challenging. Yeah, you still get pretty much a straight shot from here to there. You just go swoosh. What do I put one right there? Now what will I do? It's not a joke? Okay, well, yeah, that's why I give you a real answer. I just thought it was kind of funny to ask what's RPG Maker when it's called RPG Maker. It is fairly well set on the tin. Yeah. Okay, I like that, I like that. Can I recommend something for the stage? Sure, shoot. Ba-da-ba-da-ba, kind of fun. Feels like it's in a decent spot right now. Definitely still needs a little bit of something else, a little bit of sauce. That's pretty fun. I wonder if this would be faster. I wonder if this would be faster. It might be faster. I'm not sure. Make a giant shark that eats you for trying to cheese the jumps? Well, I want them to cheese the jumps. Makes it look cool as opposed to fire on top. Ooh, that's a good idea, like the torches. Yeah. I was thinking they'd be like little metal sticks. Like you're above like a shipwreck or something. But that is probably more feasible to make with my current level of expertise and time. Yeah, very survivory. You can dash back to the board on some jumps before you hit a spike wall or go under a wall too big or uppercut over or something. Make the water have varying heights. Well, I can't really do that the way I've got it set up. That would definitely require a pretty big shakeup. The original idea for this level was actually going to involve you jumping on and off the surfboard. It feels kind of fun when you've got the gimme to get yourself back on, but at high speeds, it just doesn't feel very good to try to get off and on the surfboard. I think stuff like jumping over a wall, that's a good idea, though. But unfortunately, jumping on and off the surfboard isn't really as fun as that sounds. I'm sure there's a way to make that work, but I'd have to reprogram a lot about the surfboard. And I think the way it works right now is really fun for the levels it's currently in. So I don't want to go too far out of the way just for like what's supposed to be like a fun little bonus level that's not supposed to take too much of the time budget away from. Okay. I think that's in an okay spot for now. It's definitely not finished. I need to do some more tweaking and probably add some more obstacles. But it's a good scope. It's a good scale. I'm gonna come back to that and work on that a little bit later with a fresh head, because I think that it's good to not try to do it all in one shot. It'll leave your brain more fresh to come up with more ideas if you just take a little bit of time off and come back to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the other level for tonight. Work on that, and then we'll, call it in like probably an hour or so. Mini challenge. Now what we're gonna do is make a difficult, short combat arena. And I've already got a pretty fun idea for what we could do with this. Set the step size to 1. Let's go up by 2. Get ourselves something nice and flat against the ocean. So the big thing I'm thinking for this stage, if we really want to take advantage of our brand new enemies, really see what those guys are capable of, then, well, I got a couple ways we could do that. I think the first thing that comes to mind, for one, I don't know why this is the image that came to my head, but I kind of like the idea of making a big wedge. Like a lopsided wedge. Again, I don't know why I like this concept, but I do. It just kind of making it a big wedge, and I don't know, I just kind of like the concept. Okay, so first hazard. Is that high enough for? Oh, it's not even close. Way too low. I'm gonna put a Brain Buster up on this ledge. And if you need a little refresher, Brain Buster is an enemy who can... Okay, so that I think is fine. If you can make it up with 2 uppercuts, because that'll be really expensive to get up there. Which I think works. You can still get up there if you want to, so you're not feeling arbitrarily limited. But it is tricky. So, as I was saying, if you missed some of the previous stuff, Brain Buster will lock on you. This timer starts ticking down. Then if you get out of it, then it resets the timer. Oh, okay, I just realized a bug that I had. I'll fix that later, though. So we'll have this guy right here. So the second you spawn in, you're already in danger. You're already ticking down to dying. Bum, bum, bum. Now, another thing that I've got in mind. You're working your way up towards this guy. You know, I think we'll even pull this back a little bit. So you have to like run towards him and keep like ducking behind cover while you're working your way towards him, but there's like not cover. I think that'd be pretty fun. Let's give him a really far. Oh, he's already got crazy far sight radius. Cool. Bum 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 bum. All right, yeah. So you can see at longer ranges, his stuff kind of janks out. So I need to figure out a way to fix that. What if we just make this the whole level? Actually, it's like the whole thing. You're trying to run up towards this one dude while dealing with the other enemies. That's kind of a cool concept for a level, no? Bum, 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 bum. This game is by far one of my most anticipated. Thank you, Gorbo Gamer 06. The waves that come in and out so the way it's possible the water waves are random. I don't really want to introduce randomness to a speedrunning game. I see the vision though. I think that would just be that would work better in a game where I'm trying. I want everything to be as feel as consistent as it can. So I want to stick away from that sort of thing if I can. Okay, concept. So you get a little pole here you can use to hide. Put it like right there. But you also have these two poles. Ooh, ooh. So we'll put a ball there, bat there, and we're gonna go ahead and partner all these guys together. So when you start here, I also need to make it work so that as long as one of them sees you, both of them see you. I haven't coded that system in yet, so I need to do that too. There's a lot of things I haven't coded in yet, as you might have noticed. It's been a busy week. Okay, so we got this sort of setup going. Give a nice usage of these guys. So this provides you cover. We also got to deal with the bombs coming in. You got to think, okay, which one do I want to deal with first? Or you can just push them off. And then, to make this section a little spicier, had a Gunther right around here. Bum bum. So you can out that guy, but now you got to deal with a bunch of projectiles heading your way. And again, Brainbuster is he's freaking out over there. He's having a hard time figuring out what's going on. And you know what? We'll put a Steve up there with him. Just to really make it, just to really screw with him. Get ourselves a good old-fashioned slope, so you can get up there and fight him, and then have the end of the stage probably like right here. Maybe like right even in the middle of them, perhaps. Okay, so now we got this section. Let's add a little bit more interesting terrain to work with here. Let's go like 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Bum 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 bum. You can put the Gunthers like right there instead. So you're really gonna have to be bobbing and weaving for your life. Which I think could be pretty fun. Can really lean into going full bullet hell on these stages, so I wanna really experiment with that and see how that feels. Put that one there just because I'm feeling a little evil today. Whoop. I need to make Steve more dangerous. He doesn't quite have the lethality that I think he should right now. See ya, idiot. Yeah, like he's way too slow to be like a genuine particular threat this moment in time. Oh no, it keeps sending me the wrong stage because I forgot to set the thing here to train yard mini challenge. There we go. I think I want to do this. I think I want to do this. Because being able to like push dudes off of ledges and instantly kill them is fun and all, but I think this makes this a lot more interesting of a question. Because normally it's like, okay, yeah, you always want to kill Bat first. But if you can't get a consistent, like, if you can't get the free, easy kill on him like that, then I think this makes it a little bit more of an interesting question. Pop. I like how this one's shaping up though. This feels pretty fun. I like all the weaving in and out you got to do here. But what is this gonna be like on friggin' Unreasonable? I didn't even consider that for that entire time. Okay, I like how this feels for now. I think this maybe is a little empty. Maybe like one small section like right here, just to give this a little bit more, so it doesn't feel quite so empty as it does right now. Maybe just like a little pillar to hide here, a little pillar to hide here. Something simple. Doesn't have to be complicated. Probably do something cool for my 50th Gunther drawing. Do you have any recommendations? Well, I'm currently designing... I don't know if this is going to end up in the game or not, so don't get your expectations too far. But I briefly mentioned the idea previously of having ultra enemies, which are like more powerful versions of themselves. I scrapped that idea because I kind of don't like the idea that it's just like a tankier, bigger version of an enemy. I'd rather make them more interesting to fight, like more challenging to fight rather than more tanky to fight. But I want to bring that concept back with voltaic enemies, which are different enemies entirely. They like look the same, but they'll function differently. They'll have the same like health and general stats, but they'll have more interesting changes to be different. And I've got an idea for a guy called Voltaic Gunther, and he's really bulky. Like he's got the head of a Gunther on like this big, sort of like downwards triangle-facing body with two tiny little legs on it, and he's got 2 finger guns. And the whole gist is that Gunther, usually you want to strafe around him, circle strafe, you go to the right side, maybe you can deal with him more easily. But this guy's got 2 finger guns, so he'll shoot right, left, So he keeps up a constant onslaught, and if you're approaching him directly, you're going to have to go left, right to get in and kill him. He's got the same health as a Gunther. He's still pretty vulnerable. He might actually have 1 extra health, so that way he can survive a direct hit from the bill pair, which would be really funny. But maybe if you want to do a 50th, you know, I could send you the sketch idea for Voltaic Gunther. He looks a little scary. Double barrel Gunther, yeah. He's not double barrel, but he does have 2 guns. He's double gun. Is every enemy planned to be relatively simple, or do you plan to have some very smart enemies? I do not plan any particularly intelligent ones, no. I like them. I like keeping them simple, but having them interact with each other in fun ways. Like, these guys are a good example about how complex I want them to be. Like, they are not complicated, but there's, like, interesting question raised when fighting them, like, what order do you take them down in? What's the order of operations? There's multiple different correct options. And I think that's a fun way of doing it. Oh, I whiffed. Whoop. Are you stuck on that? I think he's stuck on that ledge. I'll have to look at the nav mesh. You love strafing. Whoop. Man, sure, buddy. See ya, idiot. Okay, small, focused, kind of challenging. I like how this one feels. I think the main thing that's gonna need is just fixing up Brainbuster so that he works properly. Oh yeah, there's another freaking... Man, I need to figure out what's going wrong with Bomb and Bat. Like, sometimes they just don't function. I need to figure out why. But yeah, I like how that this one feels. This was a lot easier to put together. I guess might even get started on some of the visual stuff. Nah, really, realistically, no. I should definitely be focusing on fixing up Brainbuster before I worry about the visuals or anything else. Okay, dude, I'm whiffing all my shots today. I am not on it. I'm whiffing every shot. Holy! If you miss that, you can just, die. Cool. What happened? Oh. Okay. I think this is the glitch where, like, I think he, like, dies at the wrong time, and it's trying to, like, reference something that doesn't exist. Yeah. It's so silly, yes, please. Alright, I'll send it to you after the stream. Yeah, I'll send that later. And I want to do that for other enemies, too. I don't really have specific ideas for them yet, for what the voltaic enemies will do, other than double barrel Gunther, dual wield Gunther. You too could have access to the Gunther shooting event. Oh, that's true. As Luke Beaton saying, for only 99 cents a month, you can become a channel member to get access to my shitty little emotes. My really good epic emotes that you should all want. Ooh, you want to buy a channel membership. Ooh. I try not to push stuff too hard, although I will probably soonish. I want to ask something from you guys. Would you be interested in Void Collector t-shirts? And I'm mostly asking because I kind of need money. Mostly because I want to pay my composer really well, and he's really good at his job, but he needs a lot of money. And I would like to help pay for that. And I was thinking maybe a t-shirt campaign would be a good way to do that. Because I don't want to just constantly be asking for money. Like, for the Patreon, I'm kind of just asking for money. But you get shit from it, even if it's, like, mostly credit and early access. And I would... Like, a t-shirt campaign would be a good way to help fund composing and getting more music. Like, if it does really well, then I could get even more music than's currently planned, which would be great. I'd love to have even more music for it. But I like the idea of a t-shirt campaign specifically because you get something in return for it, right? Like, it helps fund the game, and worst comes to worst, you get, like, a cool-looking shirt out of it, I have no money, depends on the design. Depends on the design of t-shirt brand, but probably yes. Yeah, well, definitely, obviously depends on the design. Oh, I want a channel membership. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, so generally the consensus seems like people would be interested in shirts. I was thinking probably Teespring. I've gotten shirts from the game Hylix on there, and those are pretty good. Ships to Europe for free, then I'm all in. Okay, I'll look into Teespring. If you guys have any recommendations for like shirt places that you like, let me know, ring me. Teespring's what I'm thinking, but I haven't done a whole lot of research. I'll tell you it's not going to be Redbubble. It's not Redbubble. Good lord, is it not going to be Redbubble. But, something along those lines. Okay, let's just play this level a bit, and let's see how this feels. Yeah, I was gonna keep rambling, but I think you guys get it. Shirts are cool because I get to raise money to support development, so I can pay my composer well. And, maybe also get a little bit extra cash, just a little bit of a safety blanket if it does well. But, yeah, I want to do more stuff like that for raising money. Like, Kickstarters are good. Kickstarters are nice and all, but I kind of prefer more constant direct feedback between, like, what you get for what you put in. Like the Patreon, I'm trying to be super active on there, like every week get really detailed posts that are exclusive to theirs. You get like ideas as to what's on them. Shirts I like because you know, their shirts. You get an immediate product from it. Ideally a fair price too. I'm not gonna be looking to sell $40 t-shirts. Don't worry. But yeah, especially as like a small indie guy, like even if I have no money currently, well, okay, not a lot of money currently, it's all going to college, friggin' loans and food. I would like to make sure that any money that goes to me, you guys get something good for sending. Anyways, I'm rambling. Let me put the end level thing in now. I always forget the little thing. End level? End level. There we go. Oh. What? Okay, what is that? What's going on with that? I think that's what I need to figure out what's going on. Is that sometimes like it doesn't set the values properly? Because like he got hit by that bomb. It hit him for some reason. Like he didn't deflect it like he should. He got hit by it. There's probably some jank in the way that it's programmed somehow. I need to sort that out. Ooh. Whoa, no. Okay, I like what I like the spot that this little level is in, and you can see why I'm interested in trying these out, because these are very short and simple to make, because they're small, they're simple. They take one gimmick and just sort of extrapolate on it. So it's an easy way to add more stuff to the game and make it feel a little bit more worthwhile. And more importantly, I feel, is that it gives sort of more opportunities to practice certain mechanics and try stuff out in a smaller, more focused context, which I think will in turn make the main stages feel a bit more fun and satisfying. You know, that's what I hope. Oh, I just make it. I shouldn't have boosted. I lost all my speed. I'll say I think the speedrun skip strat for this one's pretty fun. Although I might add some walls or something to make it more difficult to do that, because I like big skips, but big skips kind of, it's not fun to skip the entire level if it's too easy to skip the entire level. So we'll see. Yeah, poster as well. Okay. 100% by a poster. Let me do that. Oh, okay. Yeah, good. $200 t-shirt, yeah. Might make a recommendation. Gunther and Steve Strike on the same shirt hanging out. I like that idea. Make shirts that match the vibe of the game but aren't walking adverts. 100% agree. 100%. If we look at this t-shirt row prop, you know, these are not the shirts. These are much lazier than actual shirts. Like I would put a lot more work into the design. But something akin to this, where it's just like one of the enemies and like doing a cool pose or a fun design. I've got one that I want to do with like what I call the core 6 enemies. Basically just all the ones from the demo. With B in the middle, like doing a little gun pose, like ooh. And then they're sort of surrounding them on all sides. Something like that I think would be fun. Some like single design enemies where it's like, oh, this is just like a maybe like a really cool like high detailed drawing of each of the enemies on a shirt would be fun. I kind of love this one. It might need some retooling. Not this one. This one, I'm not doing that one. Yeah, but stuff like that with just a little bit more you know, work put into it, higher res, higher detail, looks nicer. But that sort of approach. And Gunther's. But this stage is supposed to be like just platforming and no enemies. Because I want to try. I just want to try I want to try a bit of stages that don't have any enemies and just platforming. Maybe that'll work. Maybe it won't. You know, we'll see. Right now, I'm kind of leaning towards. Honestly, I'm a little bit leaning towards scrapping the idea of mini levels and just leaning in on mini arenas instead. Because the game is more focused on the combat, and I just think that's what's more fun to do. Not to say that you can't make pure platforming work, but I think if it's pure platforming, you're kind of when I'm actually playing this, like, a lot of what makes the game fun to play is missing of, like, shooting stuff. So we'll see. I like the mini coliseums a lot, the mini arenas. I think those are gonna stick for sure. But the mini platforming levels are up in the air. They're up in the air. I'm not gonna give up yet, you know. I'm gonna do some more testing with this and see if I can get it in a place that I like it. But right now it is not in a place where I like it. Or a group photo. I do like that idea too. I have one specific sketch that I was doing where they're like all of them are stacked up in like a totem. And another one where they're like falling together into a pile. They're all sketches. None of them are super far along. But I think anyways with if I were to do Teespring, that one the good thing about that one is that there's no like risk to it. Like I just make the designs and then you know they get shipped whenever they're sold. You know. Most fun is platforming around enemies like a big windmill. Yeah, right. Like the platforming is fun, but the platforming is most fun when it's in service to the enemies. So I feel like having pure platforming enemies kind of lacks half of the equation. So right now I'm leaning towards probably scrapping these. Again, we'll see, but it kind of feels like something is missing. Alright, this song's going on long enough. I'm sure if the playlist did that thing again where like it picks like 10 songs from it and then just sticks to those and it'll never actually escape from that circuit. Yeah, it's doing it again. It's not... I randomized and re-randomized, but it's only sticking to the same like songs that they picked. Whatever. Okay, well that was very, very good progress. I still feel like doing a bit more though, so I don't think I want to wrap up quite yet. Just add some brainbusters to the platforming segment. It's not so much the presence of enemies; it's more like how you interact with them. You know, because like having a Gunther around forces you to switch to this or switch like, oh, there's a Gunther in the distance. I gotta switch to this. I gotta use my controls. You know, I gotta do this. I gotta switch out to here. The mere existence of enemies force you to engage with the system on a deeper level. Whereas not having the enemies means you're just not using a lot of the mechanics. Like, even if there are enemies to keep you on your toes, the fun part isn't just moving. I mean, moving is fun. It's, you know, this... I won't lie, this is, you know, I've done this a lot, but this is still very fun to do. But, you know, it's not quite the same. It's missing something. Okay. Now, I think what I want to do tonight is a bit of coding. Just to test some stuff out. Maybe fix some things. Look at good old Brain and Buster. First thing I'm going to do is lower your sprite a little bit so it looks like you're actually standing instead of floating. There we go. Bah. So, what we want to do is fix this issue where it keeps not working properly. I said this is 150. I think the brain timer kind of works better if it's pretty strict at 100. If I make it faster, but it doesn't actually instantly kill you, it just like makes you take damage. I think that's probably going to be more fun to deal with, especially on I mean, it would, you know, kind of make him indistinguishable from playing him against him on unreasonable, which is part of the reason I want to make him just do damage. But it could be pretty annoying to just instantly die no matter what the circumstances are. So I think I want to avoid that if I can. So I'll just make him faster, but you take damage instead of dying. Yeah, so it does a... if you cannot see the pawn... Oh, okay, maybe it's just the issue is just how I did it in the code here. Yeah, because it summons a retriggerable delay. So reset the countdown. Yeah, if you can see him, then you're in range. And then run countdown, which will constantly tick down from the timer. And then if that is 0, then you die. But if... I think maybe the issue is that if we're so far away, then it'll keep... Yeah, because what's supposed to happen is that as long as you're within their sight, it'll constantly reset the countdown. which is why we have this delay right here. So I want to test if maybe just changing the frequency of the delay fixes that. So if I just... No, it doesn't really seem to make much of a difference. How the hell did... You guys see that? How did he get up there? What happened to him? Now it's ticking in a lot less frequently, I've noticed. Because the delay lasts longer. But that's not really fixing the core issue. What is wrong with the bomb guys? What is freaking out with them? I need to figure that out. Just like sometimes you just get hit. They get hit by the bombs. I can't tell you why. I really could not. Okay, so I think it was called perception. Yeah, AI perception is apparently what's basically pawn sensing but improved. I don't really know how it works though. Yeah, I'll probably do that on my own time actually. That way you guys aren't forced to look at to watch me watch tutorials. That doesn't sound particularly interesting, does it? Okay, so let's try to see what's going wrong with Bat and Ball. What's going on in their stupid little heads. So I was noticing that the issue was in, I think it was in Bomb 1. Like it kept saying Bomb 1 was the issue whenever it was getting hit. So maybe it's like something specific, like if he gets hit and then, no, it's not doing it. Maybe like if he gets, like these guys are shooting while they throw. It just seems like sometimes he just gets hit by the bombs. Oh, that time he deflected a bomb while he was dying. That's funny. That should not happen. Oh, playlist broke. Man, I need to get a better solution than just using YouTube playlists. When you try to make these things larger than 10 songs, everything just stops working. Okay. So it's saying an issue about something like not existing, and I think that has to do with the bombs that they throw. And it says, specifically it's saying Bomb 1, and Bomb 1 is what gets summoned by Bat whenever he deflects these. So to tear away the illusion a little bit if you missed how these guys were coded, these guys chuck bombs, they get into his radius, he deletes those bombs, and then summons a new bomb that he then throws. So, the issue is lying with either how the bombs are spawned in, because I think maybe sometimes he's accidentally hitting himself with them, maybe? But it only happens sometimes. It only happens sometimes. What if I'm down here? No, yeah, okay, that was it. Yeah, Bomb 1, C. It's not valid. Pin and killer garbage. So I think if he dies while he's trying to spawn one, maybe that's what the issue is? Right now, I think it's just whenever he hits himself with one. I think that's the issue. Yeah, that's what's causing it. That's the problem. Okay. Got it. Okay, so what if you hit yourself with one? You can't, right? No, you cannot. You cannot hit yourself. So let's go to blueprints. Is it weapons? No. It's in enemies, projectiles. Bomb 1. So I thought I had it coded so that way it would constantly... Yeah, I thought I set it to ignore BP Bat. But it's not. It's not ignoring. Oh, is it because it's doing begin overlap? Probably because it's doing begin overlap. Let's make this pure cast. Let's get other actor. Hook that in actors to ignore. I don't know if it's using hit or begin overlap, actually. I've kind of forgotten how I coded it. Now it's hitting him again. Damn. So either way, it's not ignoring him the way it should. Yeah, because it's supposed to say that that it will not apply this. What? Oh, right, because it's supposed to destroy the actor that it's trying to hit, but that's not quite what I'm trying to do, actually. I think I coded that wrong. Yeah. Okay. I think it's just because I copied some of the code over from where the other bomb marked. Where that would go into the radius, it would cast to Bat, and if it's in Bat's radius, then it'll delete itself. And I think that's probably what I was trying to do with this code here. If I just get rid of this, say, maybe like equals, say ref, so let's just get reference to self. And if that is false, then we run the code. So that way, if it's not himself, then it won't blow up. Okay, well that time he did go flying, but that's because he got hit by the other bomb, I think? Okay, so he still boosted himself, which I don't think I really wanted to have happen. Whoa, gosh, it spawned me over here. Right, I still need to fix the spawning system. Okay, so obviously that's not exactly an ideal strategy to hunker down right there. But it's not causing any issues anymore, which is good. Because that could potentially cause crashing if it has like errors like that. I don't think any of those are serious enough to cause a crash, but it's good that that has been sorted. Problem is, I don't know why it should only be launching. It should only be running this code if it's not itself. But even if it is itself, it's still doing that, which is not what we want to do. At least it's not damaging itself anymore, which is good. I mean, we could just really make this thing a convoluted mess of lines by grabbing another branch, grab another equal, and then reference to self, and then get another false, and that way it shouldn't even launch itself. Oh, whoops. There we go. Okay, so now he should not launch himself. No, it still launched him. Oh, because it's an reference to self, not to... Yes. Yeah. BP vet. Not the other guy. Let's promote to variable. Let's try that. Because the reference to self doesn't work because it's not bat. Of course, it would still affect bat because it's not itself. We could probably even get rid of this branch now. If we just use that reference to VP bat. Okay, so the bombs will still hit me. They will still hit me, but they will not hurt him. So let's say if I'm just in the radius here. Yeah, okay, so it'll still explode around me and then I'll die. But he won't hit himself. Do 2/3 of your brain. That's an interesting idea, actually. Doing 2 instead of 1. Either solution will suddenly become obvious if the bug will live forever. Well, it's fixed. Okay, he should now not launch himself. Yeah. Should is a word you'll use in programming quite often. Okay. It's been about an hour 40. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Got the levels done. I think we're going to go ahead and conclude that pure platforming levels are probably not the way to go. Again, I'm certain you can make those fun, but I don't think that they really are the core of the game, so I'm going to stick to the arenas. Enemies are feeling good. I'm going to learn how to do AI perception and make Brainbuster work properly so he doesn't just die or just seize you and unseize you constantly. Next time, we're going to be working on a brand new enemy for the final level of the world, and we're going to be working on that. Still got to... I wanted to get that whole world done by the end of September, so we've got pretty much a full month to make one level and polish out level 2 and the mini Coliseum. So progress is going really, really good. We're feeling very good about how this is going. Pretty confident that this is going to get finished on time, and I'm feeling good about how this is going. It's feeling pretty fun. Yeah. Okay, I gotta go do homework for my marketing class. So, yeah, I'll be seeing everybody. Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate everybody who visited today. Hope to see you again next Tuesday. And I'll have a video out probably the next month. Probably announcing a Patreon build with the complete World 2. Yeah, and I'll be working on t-shirts too. And I got stuff. Okay. That's it. No more dilly-dally, no more delaying. I'll see y'all next time.